We're going to go over some of our favourite UK rap albums of all time.
There is a lot of them out there, so kind of curating this list, we've gone with 3 each, was quite a difficult task to do, but I think we've both managed it all right. And just to clarify, this is our picks of this. We don't think these might be the best ever. This is what we like.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're the most influential. I'm not saying that they should be everyone's favourite, but for me, these are the ones where I look and I go, yeah, they had a real impact on the scene and what was going on.
I'll let you take the first shout here.
Well, I actually think we're going to be pretty similar in this, Genuinely, I think we're going to have 2 that are exactly the same and then 1 difference. And the first one I'll give is one that I think we're going to have that's exactly the same. And it's Dizzy Rascal's 2003 release, Boy in the Corner.
Come on.
Oh my God. I think maybe modern UK rap fans don't appreciate just how special this album was. Dizzy started releasing singles from this when he was 16 and wrote some of them when he was 14.
And this man produced the tracks on this album as well, just to add to that. So not only was he bringing phenomenal pen game, phenomenal flows, he was bringing the beats as well. And some of these beats on this album are so like mega. Like you could play any of these songs and somebody will go, oh, I know that beat because some future rapper has gone over them or they know them from this album itself.
And compared to the other albums on my list, the production of the album is very unique. Not only does it feel of its moment and of its time, but it just feels different. It's in a bit of a different lane. It's more fun, if that makes sense. And there were some cool features on there as well. Wiley was on there, who I'm going to mention a few times throughout this video. Despite him absolutely going off his head in recent years, he had such an impact in the early days of grime.
Yeah, he was one of those rappers that was very, very influential initially, but as of the last 10 years kind of fell off and then just seemed to be making beefs for the sake of making beefs. I didn't really like that side of him, but I will say one thing about Boy in the Corner, and I don't care how controversial this is, but I would say it is the Illmatic of grime.
Ooh, I think it could be. I know where you're coming from with that.
Because Dizzy Rascal is the godfather of grime. If we didn't have Dizzy Rascal, we wouldn't have grime as it was.
Oh, this undoubtedly put grime on the map in the UK. Like, commercially, this did really well. I think it got like a top 25. I think it was like 23rd in the charts, if I remember correctly. But it sold over 250,000 copies, which for an album like this, in this genre, didn't happen back then. Obviously, I had I Love You, which is a huge track. I really love that. It's catchy as hell.
That little I love you, so good. And this album actually won the Mercury Prize, which basically meant that all of the institutions, the musical institutions, couldn't ignore what had been done because this was an award-winning album. And we'd not seen anything in this style win anything of that sort before. So Dizzy has absolutely smashed it with this.
Well, I think we've said enough about Boy in the Corner. So before we go on to the next pick, which I'll let you take, Tim, please do remember to like and subscribe. If you're a UK rap fan or a fan of music in general, that's all we talk about here. So I'm sure you'll like the channel.
I'm going to come with a more recent album because I feel like we need to kind of assess all levels of UK grime, UK hip-hop, UK rap. And I'm going to come in with Humble as the Sun by Bob Vylan, released in 2024. This album is absolutely phenomenal. They released it themselves. I don't think they had a label when they released it. They kind of did all the publications themselves. And this is the definition of DIY. In the same way that Boy in the Corner was pretty much DIY because he made it all himself, same as Humble as the Sun, because there's just something about this album, the energy in it, the style of it. It's something that we've not heard before. There's a lot of references to political issues, racial issues, all sorts of societal issues. And I think it really draws a light on problems in the UK as they are now. And unfortunately, those problems echo what Grime and other artists have been talking about for many years now. So it's unfortunate this had to happen, but I do feel like this was a pivotal moment because it got a lot more eyes back onto the problems.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Bob Vylan is in a very different style to Grime, but it's still UK rap and it's still produced well and delivers a strong message, which it's very different in every way, but he is a very talented UK rapper, or they are very talented UK rappers.
It's a group where they've got one guy who's the front man and then you've got another guy who does the drums and other instruments. But they've got the punk rage, they've got the grime flows, but then they've also got the hardcore stylings. Like when you go and see them live, they're one of those bands that when you see them, it's exactly as you want it to be. It sounds just like the studio, but with even a bit more like infliction in the anger and the DIY-ness of it, kind of like Wonder Horse in a way, where their albums perhaps sound a little bit tame, but when you go and see them live, it's raw and ready and raucous. All the R's, every of the R's is what it is, and it kind of it's It's a great example of the current state of Britain. And I do think that in the UK rap scene, that is predominantly what people end up doing. They end up this little snapshot of what Britain is at the time the album's released and, you know, the state of affairs, basically.
Well, I'm going to come in with another more recent one to kind of match your tone. One on a completely different vibe, and that is Dave with Psychodrama, 2019 release. And I kind of see Dave as what was the new wave of UK rap at that time, because we obviously mentioned Dizzy Rascal and Wiley and Skepta and Jamie and BBK, etc. They were the kind of the old wave for me. And then came Dave, J Hus, and a few others that really blew up. And this album was actually a piece of art. It's one of the few UK rap albums, in my opinion, where you can listen to the whole thing and there's different messages. It's much more intelligent than a lot of the old grime would be. Like, I would say this is just a rap album. Do you know what I mean? And it propelled Dave to a level of stardom in the UK which not many rappers have seen. He's headlined Reading and Leeds. He's appeared on stage with Stormzy at Glastonbury. But he also does it in a way where he's delivering a proper message. Like, he has a song called Black on this album where he's talking about kind of the treatment of black people and what they go through just in the upbringing and general lives in the UK, which is a really special song. But he explores so many different topics where I think this album definitely deserves a mention.
Yeah, Dave is an artist where I kind of dip in and out of, and there's some tracks off this album that I've heard that are absolutely phenomenal. He's a really good talking piece and getting the words across in a way that still resonates with people and gets people listening to it. And like you're saying, there's artists like Stormzy that still do a fantastic job of that, but they don't quite deliver it the same way that Dave does. There's something about Dave that's really special.
Yeah, he does it in a calm, collected, intelligent, but easy to understand way, where I think that people from all walks of life will come and find something they enjoy in Psychodrama. I think it really is a special rap album. But Tim, what's up next for you? Is it going to be one that we both have? Because I really think it could be.
Let me say the release year first. Okay, the release year is 2002.
Shit.
Is it the same one?
Is it?
Is it
Original Pirate Material? Come on.
Of course I knew it.
I knew it.
What more needs to be said about this absolute piece of art? The way that it was done at the time that it was released. You know, you got Mike Skinner's Brummie accent. He's not trying to be an American rapper. He's trying to bring it all to the UK. He's talking about kebab shops. He's talking about pub fights. It's so unbelievably British that it cannot be left off any of these lists.
And it fell into a few different genres at the time. I think maybe on its release, people would try band it as more garage influenced and almost a lot of electronic influences in there. But now looking back at it and looking back at the influence that Mike and the Streets had on the UK music community as a whole, he is one of the most renowned rappers. It's more spoken word, isn't it? He's not really like delivering bar after bar, trying to hit an amazing flow. He's just telling you a story about what Britain was like. And he didn't just do it on this album. All those early Streets albums were absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's very much the story of the working class and what it's like to be brought up in those kind of societies.
And I think the album cover just being a picture of a giant tower block, which is now a synonymous album cover throughout the UK, proves exactly what he was trying to achieve.
And when you're driving somewhere like into Leeds or into Manchester and you see some random tower blocks, you go, oh, that's like the Streets album cover. Oh, that's just the same for real. The one thing that I really, really like about Mike Skinner's lyrics is that he paints a picture so vividly that when you're listening to the songs, you can like visibly see what he's talking about. He's talking about these little chip shops with the flickering lights, and he's talking about all these very minute details that you wouldn't really think about. But when you actually listen, you go, no, I know exactly what he's talking about because I've seen this. I've just never put it into words in my own head, if you know what I mean. It's difficult to get across. It's fantastic.
And he's great with production as well. I'm not sure how much other people are involved in that with the Streets, because I know that they have had different members kind of float in and out throughout the years. But even some of those garage and electronic influences are truly amazing. And when you see him live, it builds such a great atmosphere.
Yeah, he changed what UK hip-hop was and what it could be for future generations, so that he opened the door to a lot of different genres and a lot of different ways of delivering lyrics and things that you could talk about. And for this album to be so commercially successful as well, it's amazing because it's so non-standard. It's not what you would expect to be popular, yet he still managed it.
It's one of those albums, even to this day, when you see, for example, a record shop doing a video on Instagram or TikTok and they're like, 3 albums everyone must have. this could be one of them every single time. It's an album which everyone should appreciate. But I quickly wanted to talk about one other album that I also have on my list, have a lot of notes for it, and I was really struggling to decide whether to pick this or Psychodrama, actually. And it's Skepta's Konnichiwa. Because when Konnichiwa was released, I feel like grime was at its pinnacle. Maybe people didn't realise it at the time. This was in 2016. People didn't realise that this is when grime was at the top. When BBK were going out on stage at Leeds Fest, Skepta was a massive name. JME, everyone else in the crew was a massive name. But this is a fantastic album. And it was some of the features on it as well when I was looking. So bear in mind, this is 2016. It's like Wiley, JME, DEE, BBK, Novelist. And it just reminds me of that Radio 1, Fire in the Booth, grime blowing up. It was a cultural moment. I remember the Skepta and BBK shows, like Under the Bridge in London, and them just appearing here, there, and everywhere. It felt like it was taking over the entire UK, so I had to give this a mention.
There was that 3 or 4 year span where this modern wave of grime, well, maybe not modern nowadays, but it was modern at the time, that had just taken over completely, because we had previous artists in the 2000s that were the godfathers, and then at this point we'd got all the new era, and they were all delivering pen game that they knew they had to up the skills and up the lyrics because of what they were competing with, and I think that made it so good because they had to keep perfecting their art.
But it was also like we had that kind of early wave of grime where a lot of the artists, Dizzy Rascal, Chip, etc., didn't particularly go all of them more pop, but their songs became massively commercially successful, so they left the roots a little bit. Even Wiley had a few big chart bangers, and then it felt like this was more what grime had been building to in the background the entire time that came to a culmination, because even That's Not Me, which is the biggest track on this album, or definitely one of the biggest, that was using an old 2005 Wiley sample on the beat, and it just felt like grime was at this point where it had enough fans and it was ready to hit the mainstream, and it did in a massive way.
Well, those are the UK rap and hip-hop albums that we enjoyed, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. We cover all genres of music, we talk about all kinds of artists, so stick around, you might like something.
Also, leave a comment and let us know your favourite UK rap albums. We'd love to check some of them out. Peace.
Thank you very much.